issues, and there is a number of concerns about this process of the award of his contract, and there is a number of issues, a number of journalists who've raised issues around the process as well. Now, Mr. Mayor, in terms of the Declaration of Interest, just to be very clear about this and why this is important, because as of yesterday, there is a new localism bill. If this was done some months ago, Ray Lewis might well be finding himself a criminal conviction and a fine about the declarations and risking disqualification. That's why I raised these points, Mr. Mayor. You might trivialise them. That's why
I'm not trivialising them. I'm simply trying to find out what you're trying to allege.
No, if you
I'm
listen
trying to get to the bottom of your
if you listen carefully and you concentrate, Mr. Mayor,
cast
it
a
would
pall
help
of
us
suspicion
in you
over
answering these
asking
questions.
to expand mentoring in London. I don't know why you're doing it.
Mr. Mayor, in your letter of appointment, again of Mr. Lewis, that you signed, tell me why, Mr. Mayor, why should not Mr. Lewis have any role in participating in deep decision-making within the GLA?
Ray is not a paid official of the GLA. He receives no public funds. He does a fantastic job as my mentoring champion. I support him. I support his ideas. I think that he is okay. You know, he's as many of us have. He's gone through the choppy water in the past. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a fantastic amount to contribute to London. And I think you began your remarks by saying that you were a supporter of his work. Didn't you then?
Supporter of this scheme. Mr. Mayor, in the letter you specifically raise that his role is no decision-making or budgetary responsibilities. So make it clear there's no budgetary responsibilities. So you clearly thought it was important to put it in the letter of appointment. If that's the case, and what you say, why was he allowed to participate in a decision-making process which contributed to your mayoral decision from the one that I quoted earlier, but just for the records, MD 856. Why was he allowed to participate?
Well, as I understand it, he didn't participate in the decision, as I remember it.
Are you concerned over the question, well, are you concerned about the performance of the consortium led by University of East London that won the award, and about its fellow consortium of partners that seem to be falling off its feet in those issues? Are you concerned, and did you, when you wrote or signed off your mayoral decisionship form, did you ask any questions relating to the process of and the information put before you to sign it off?
But for the benefit of people, you know, not on the kind of moonscape of conspiracy theories and what's going on in planet Earth, what we were trying to do was award a contract for a mentoring program, and this program.
Are you able to give the member a short answer? And if not, can we move on?
Yeah, there were a number of candidates. One in particular, we thought, I understand, had a lot to be said for it. The trouble was that financial due diligence revealed a lot of problems with it. And I am mindful as mayor of the history in this body. And we're not a delivery body here, Len. You know, and frankly, you have to be very careful how you administer public funds. 1.3 billion is a lot to grant, and if you look back at the history of the LDA and bodies on which John served under the previous administration, it was not brilliant. Huge sums of public money were basically
Mr. Mayor,
fired out
Mr. Mayor, is that the answer?
And on inspection, I'm given to understand that one of the consortia did not come up to snuff in terms of its in terms of its solvency. That was a material consideration.
So that's the answer to the issue about the consortia. Mr. Duvall, have you finished your line of questioning? Assembly Member Cleverly.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Mayor, it's quite clear the game is being played by the opposition members in an area of public policy which was just not even on the radar of the previous administration, and rather than actually deal with substantive issues about serious youth violence and youth crime in London, they're trying to, concoct some, comedy conspiracy theory. So let's actually go back to what really matters about this, rather than all this muffling that's going on from the other side of the chamber. What is actually happening with regards to serious youth violence in London?
Serious youth violence I'm pleased to say, is coming down, and that is a very important indicator, and it's I think a good thing to have achieved that in very tough economic times. I think it's partly thanks to the work of the police, and I congratulate the police on what they do, but it's also very largely thanks to the work of hundreds, if not thousands, of people and bodies around London who work with young people, who do things to inspire young people. And our mentoring programme is simply an attempt to join that, to show leadership, to show that mentoring is something that can really make a difference to the lives of young people. And I know that Len supports it, and I'm grateful for that support. Not much was done in this line of work in the 8 years before, in terms of supporting and expanding mentoring. I'm pleased that we're now doing it. And if you asked me, could we go further and faster? Is there more that we could do? Could we be mentoring thousands of kids now rather than just 21 or whatever we got on the books? Yes. And are we meant to? And do I want us to get up to 1,000 by next year? Yes, of course we do. We are. We will do. But these things take time. As the Assembly is right to point out, there is financial due diligence to be gone through, and we've got to get it right.
I mean, you mentioned that serious youth crime is falling across London. Is that all right across London? I mean, could you provide, I don't know whether you have the briefing, could you provide us with a borough-by-borough breakdown?
I can certainly do a borough-by-borough breakdown.
Okay, I'd appreciate that. But moving more specifically on to the questions about Project Guideless, I ought to declare an interest that, myself, Kim Morehouse, worked closely in the inception of this particular scheme. So it's one that I'm passionate about, but haven't for quite a while and need directing.
Well, thank you very much for your work, Jen. You'll know you, of course, moved on to the London Waste and Recycling Board.
In the Heron Wing of Feltham, is that